I'm joined here today by Julian Marquez, his magnificent beard, who's set to fight Alicio Di Chirico at the Ultimate Fighter 27 finale. Julian, how are you today?
Man, I'm golden, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Not golden, but I'm doing well. So, listen, man, what are your thoughts on your opponent heading into this fight?
I think it's a great fight. I think it's a great matchup. I think him and I both will put on a pretty amazing show coming out on July 6th at the Palms.
And we know you're both coming off of big wins. How do you think you match up with him?
Stylistically, we mesh well. We both have we both are there to fight. We're not there to run away and to sit there and do all this crazy stuff. We're in there to go in and try to find a way to get the finish. He has good striking. He's good on the ground, and he's a good wrestler. So I think that's just a good matchup for me because I feel like I'm a great striker. I am great on the ground, and I'm an awesome wrestler.
And what was your reaction when the fight was offered? Is this the fight you were hoping for?
To be honest, I thought it was a great matchup. Again, I keep saying that, but I thought this was a good opportunity, a good level up. Just keep going up little by little, however they want me to. I had an idea that this probably would have been it, but again, I was open to whoever they said. There was the first person they offered, and I said yeah.
And so this fight's happening in July. That would make about 7-8 months since we've seen you in the cage. Does the layoff kind of bother you?
Yeah, man, I wish you could fight more often, but until you get a bigger name, bigger on the cards and stuff, it's harder for them to put you in, anytime sooner unless it's a short notice fight, which, they just got a whole roster of people to go through. There's a lot of fighters, and there's only a certain amount of fights you can have on a card. So it's all right. Sooner or later, things will happen and just keep going.
And so you had one of the best 2017s of any fighter. How do you look back on that year?
I didn't know that. I thought it was great. I thought it was great. I thought my 2017 was what I set out to do, and I just try to level up and go to the next level. 2018 now, I got to keep on moving forward.
And so in your last fight, you put on a fun back-and-forth war with Darren Stewart. We know Dana White tweeted about it. Everybody loved the fight. What do you think went right for you in that one?
Everything went right. What didn't? What went wrong? That's the question.
And so you are on a very long winning streak. I think you've only lost once. What's been the key for you in getting all these victories strung together?
Just to not care. Honestly, I feel like people care too much about winning that it becomes a problem or becomes an issue. Don't get me wrong. I want to win. That's the whole goal. That's why we do this. But, more importantly, I want to go out there and perform to my fullest capability. That's what we try to do. Some days aren't going to be the most pretty days, and some days are going to be, the greatest days you're going to have. But I just go out there, and I don't really care whether I win or lose. That's not a factor in there. My goal is just to try to get in there and perform. My performance, if I'm up to par with what I am and who I am, then I'll get what I want at the end of it.
And so we know that you do live in Vegas. Where have you been training for this fight?
I've been doing a lot of training at the PI. I've been bringing a lot of people to the Performance Institute, doing my own little special camp training just for my opponent. I feel like as people get, bigger and bigger, you got to generalize your practices towards, your opponent. You train specifically for somebody. Which sucks is there's a lot of people out there that say they don't take short notice fights because they put their whole entire camp based upon one person, which is good. So I wouldn't say we're doing my entire camp based upon Alessio. We're doing my entire camp based upon me and how to level myself up, how to get me better, how to get me stronger in areas that I'm not, how to make me quicker, how to make me faster, how to make me more of a fighter IQ when I go in there instead of just a brawling machine.
And so we know a lot of fighters, they love the PI. They say they're working with people for weight cutting, different trainers for everything, nutritionists. Have you gotten a chance to work with these people?
Yeah, I work with them every day. I work with Bo Sandoval, Matt Nasty, I call him. It's Matt Crowley, and you have Kyle. I would ruin his last name, but he actually is a. They're all three of those are the strength and conditioning coaches, and for PT, AT, and then you have Heather and Bobby, nutrition. You have Clint. Duncan deals with a lot of the athlete's performance to see if they're overtraining, if they're undertraining. I wouldn't say undertraining, but kind of like just helping you out with your schedule, helping out with your whole entire well-being, so you're not killing your entire body and going, to the old school functionality of, fighting where, when you're hurt, you just keep going. So he's there to help me do that. And these guys are talking to me every day. They're talking to each other. They're talking to my coaches, and they're making sure that I'm able to perform at the highest level for each day and keeping my energy levels high.
And so we do know when you're not fighting, you're actually working at Topgolf. How is it for you juggling your job and your training camp at the same time? Does it get difficult?
No, not at all. To be honest, Topgolf is more of like, it's a fun place for me to go work. During camp, I step back a little bit. I have a modified schedule just so I can focus more on camp, and they help me out through their encouragement. But when I go into work for Topgolf and do stuff there, it's more of like a fun time for me, just because doing the same thing over and 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 over again can be kind of grueling. Just kind of like you kind of lose sight of what you're doing it for, and like the whole purpose. Because there's times where fighting gets rough, man. It's not an easy sport. So Topgolf is kind of like my escape.
And so we know Vegas, it's the fight capital of the world. Are you starting to get recognized more at your job?
No, not at all. I'm honestly nobody. Yeah, I won a fight. That's cool, man. Nobody knows who the hell I am. They look at me and they're like, wow, Andre Arlovsky? No, not at all.
Hey, you got to explain to them you've got the better beard, though.
Yeah, I sit there and do this, and these people just like look at me. Can I get a water, please?
I mean, are you enjoying not being recognized, or does it get to a point where it's like, hey, I'd like some attention?
I'm not in it for the attention. I'm not in it for the fame. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it because I love what I do. If I go through this world without getting recognized, then cool, man. Like I'm not gonna battle to have people know who I am. Look, we fight. No one knows who we are because we fight. No one knew who Darren Till was, and that dude's had multiple fights in the UFC. He's had 5 fights in the UFC before Donald Cerrone, and he popped up out of nowhere. A few years ago, what's it called? I just go on my blank. Just beat Frankie Edgar.
Brian Ortega.
Yeah, Brian Ortega. I heard a story where Brian Ortega was going to do a meet and greet, and these people were like, no, who the hell is this guy? Who is he? And look at him now, So it's like, it doesn't matter. We're not movie stars. We're not sitting there being viewed by millions of people, over and over again, becoming like a favorite quote or a favorite scene or a favorite deal. We beat people up for a living. It's about as your fame lasts as long as the fight does, to be honest. 15 minutes and sometimes 25 minutes. When the next fight happens, you're forgotten. So, again, I don't do it for the fame. It's not fun for it. It's not something that I go out there and try to be a face for anything. I'm in it because I love competing. I love fighting. I love training. I love pushing myself beyond the point of exhaustion and performing at that, area. So.
And an important question. We know Elias Theodorou, he's picking up sponsors because he's got his magnificent hair, but have you managed to pick up sponsors for your beard?
I've had a lot of people contact me for sponsorships, but not really just want to give me product and stuff. Again, I'm nobody. Elias has fought a lot of people. Elias has a bigger name in the UFC. Elias, he's just he's more known. Sooner or later, somebody's going to do it. But again, I don't want to be known for my beard. I shaved my beard off. It was longer. I shaved it off because it's just something funny. I joke around about it because I have a beard. And it is magnificent when I grow it out. But I don't want to be known for my beard. You know, like, oh, yeah, you were Julian Marquez? Yeah, he had a nice beard. And what else, you know?
Yeah. So, is there anything you're working on specifically to get ready for this fight, or is it just purely focusing on Julian?
I'm focusing on leveling up. That's what's specific. You know, I'm a fight character. You're playing me in a EA Sports game. You're playing me in Mortal Kombat. You know, you just gotta level up. That's it. I'm not gonna train specifically to do this or do that. I'm gonna train specifically to level myself up because, again, if I got called to fight for the world title tomorrow and I've been training for one person that's nowhere near the world title, you know, I'm a champion. You know, that's who I am. And leveling myself up is the only way I can get to become the championship status.
All right, just one more for you. How do you see this fight playing out come July?
Man, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to have the most fun in that whole entire octagon. The fans are going to yell as loud as they possibly can. They're going to lose their mind. They're going to be invested into it. And it's just going to be sparks the entire time. And from start to finish. And everybody's just going to sit there, stand up, standing ovation, and pretty much lose their mind. And then I'll be noticed for 15 minutes and forgotten the next day.